Coming up on this edition of Speed Chronicles, what's in the future?
SIG Media presents Speed Chronicles with Todd Lewis, powered by Rev TV.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition. We do it every Wednesday on the Rev TV YouTube channel, and you can find it, of course, on your favorite podcast platform as well. Make sure you follow all the social channels as well for Speed Chronicles, and please like and subscribe. Okay, let's rewind just a little bit for a few seconds. Survived the busiest week of the summer for me personally. Now we were going to return to our regularly scheduled one race weekend per week at this time of year. Last week, super crazy. Edmonton, Saskatoon, Toronto, 2 NASCAR Canada Series events in Edmonton and Saskatoon, a Saturday and a Wednesday, and then, of course, fly directly to Toronto, go directly to Exhibition Place, do not pass go, do not collect $200, and then work a super busy weekend at the Ontario Honda dealers Indy Toronto. Hey, I am in no way, shape, or form complaining. It is a great way to spend days. I get to work with and hang around a lot of really great people and very talented people. Others I share the microphone with at other events, and also the production people involved. So it's super, super fun. The best thing about these race weekends, and I think a lot of people will agree, is that I get to meet and see and hang out with a lot of people and hang out. Some people that I haven't seen for a while and catch up, take a few minutes. There's also a bunch that unfortunately I didn't get to connect with. Some have since told me that, hey, heard you on the PA or saw you working and stuff, and I didn't want to interrupt you. You look busy. Please don't ever worry about that. Good golly, I might only have a few seconds to wave or say a quick hi, but honestly, it is a great privilege to be able to do this, get to meet and work with a lot of great people. So, hey, if you see me and want to say hi, I appreciate it. Thanks, and please do. So, keep that for future reference. Okay, let's look back on the hectic week a little bit. Started with NASCAR Canada. Disappointing car count. Already kind of covered that. Edmonton, Saskatoon didn't have the numbers that anybody would want there. Edmonton was a pretty good show. There are factors involved. Here's the bottom line. It's money. It's dollars and cents. It's money. It is an awful lot of money to be involved in the series. Owning a car costs a lot. So does renting a car if you're only going to do a few events. It costs a lot of money, especially if you're going to do those Western races, because teams are based in Ontario and Quebec. It is crazy expensive to travel your team, your hauler, your car, your pit box, your equipment across the country for those races. So that's going to be reflected in the rental costs if someone out west wants to participate. Saskatoon race wasn't as successful as Edmonton. Crowd size wasn't as big. That's a concern. It's a midweek race, so that's tough on a Wednesday. I will give you that. But with such a low car count, such a speedy, racy track, it doesn't necessarily make for the best show either, except for the last couple of laps. And the Western swing is going to continue, though. You need 2 races to make it work. If you're doing just a single event, like say, well, drop Saskatoon and go to Edmonton, you can do that, but it is even more cost prohibitive if you're only going for one event. That's why they shortened the trip back up again this year to save money. If it's a Saturday, Wednesday race, it's fewer days. They stretched it out to Saturday last year. That was a previous person that was involved in that negotiation and discussion. It's the wrong move. It does not work for the teams. It didn't really work for everyone this year either. So there's got to be a rethink and a reevaluation about the Western Series going forward and how that's going to continue. There's got to be a solution to the gap in the dollars. There's questions about this part of the schedule. Edmonton, you did an amazing job promoting the race. I didn't feel or see the same kind of buzz in Saskatoon. Now, to be fair, I wasn't in town for very long. I had to dash out immediately afterwards, but there's questions there. It all involves money. Who's going to get it? Where's it going to come from? How soon can it be found? How's it going to be distributed? There's some decisions that have to come before the 2026 schedule is finalized for the NASCAR Canada Series. It's a question mark. Agreements in place, understood, but there's got to be some change happen for that to continue and be successful. One other note, about the West and the finish in Saskatoon. No doubt you've seen it, the live broadcast. It's on the Rev TV YouTube site. There's been a lot of discussion about it, a lot of conversation post-race and since. It was a head-to-head battle between Kevin Lacroix, Marc-Antoine Camirand over about the last 20 laps or so. They both took turns nudging each other out of the way to take the lead. You can complain about this kind of racing all you want, but this kind of racing has been going on for at least 20 years, not just in NASCAR Canada, but in lots of other stock car series and tracks as well. It has been going on for decades. Nudging people out of the way for a win has not only been tolerated, it has been promoted to create drama, or manufacture drama is perhaps more accurate. That's the case. That's what's been happening. Now, Camirand moved Lacroix in the final couple of corners and came across the finish line first. NASCAR Canada officials said, hold on, we're going to have a look at this one. We're going to talk about it. We're going to watch the video, and then made the call. Camirand was penalized for rough driving. Lacroix was awarded the win. He led the most laps, I would say had the best car in the night. But with this decision, every decision has now been opened up to second guessing. Every call going forward about whether a penalty is issued or not issued is going to be scrutinized and second guessed. Everybody's got their own thoughts about whether this was the right call or the wrong call. Everybody's got an opinion. You're entitled to it. But now what we've got is extra scrutiny on every call going forward. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but that's what's going to happen moving forward. On to IndyCar, the Ontario Honda dealers, Indy Toronto. I have said that hundreds of times over the last week or so. I love this event. I grew up with it. It is one of the big reasons that I am such a fan of and so involved in motorsports. Going back to the early 90s and going to the race for the first few times, standing along pit road, getting the privilege of watching from pit lane. This was even before I started working it. And then actually getting a phone call and saying, yes, we want to hire you to come and work at this race. Again, I get to work with some really talented, really smart, really great people. Green Savory, the IMS production group that I worked with, they're super talented, super fun people, really enjoy it. But like everybody, I am worried about this event and the future. Both IndyCar and the promoter want it to continue. It was very well attended again this year. Friday was jam-packed. Saturday was good. Sunday was excellent. I haven't heard a final count. I was told they were ahead of last year, which was a very good race. This event makes money. It is a fixture on the schedule. It is the second oldest street race on the schedule behind Long Beach. It makes money. And you can't say that about every race on the IndyCar schedule. From my perspective, the World Cup conflict fiasco has been dragging on for months, dare I say years. Seems like nobody wants to say if things can happen on the usual July weekend. The last game that Toronto is hosting is a few weeks before the normal weekend in July for IndyCar. If necessary, there can be a shuffle. Remember the fiasco that was the Pan Am Games a few years ago? Toronto shifted, made it work, went back to their usual day after. Nobody wants to talk about this, so I will. There's a solution to be had here. The city needs to get involved. World Cup is a big event. I will give you that. It's incredibly overpriced for what they're getting, $350 or $60 million for a half a dozen games. It's obscene. But this is the bed that you're in, so figure out how to make it. How do you make it work? You get involved. And Green Savory have been trying to do that. The city has been kind of stepping back and not wanting to commit or do anything. IndyCar needs to get involved. They have not been nearly as involved as they should be. You got a bunch of crappy events, example, Iowa. And what are you doing to keep one of your biggest and best festivals intact. A race that makes money, draws people in, gets them excited, draws attention, makes money. That's on IndyCar. You've got to get involved. And it occurred to me, after reading a lot about this past weekend and talking with a lot of people, there's often a comparison between, North American open wheel racing and IndyCar. It's like just the North American version of Formula One. It's not. And I think it's a real mistake to try to compare the two. I think I've found the right comparison, though, if you want to draw a parallel and understand the difference between the two. It's state fair versus state of the art. Guess which one's which? IndyCar is super folksy. They think everything is great. It's not. It's an outdated car, an old engine formula. You have slapped together a hybrid unit and an aero screen. Understandable, you want that for safety, but you've slapped it together and it's held on the car with duct tape and baling wire. I'm not sure how you promote or market this product going forward, and that has been the problem. Here's your first clue, though. Drivers are your product. If not for the Fox TV promos that were done with Pato O'Ward, Alex Palou, and Joseph Newgarden before the start of the season, what kind of promotion about the drivers, the talented, skilled personalities that are vital to your series and are the show, what has been done? Time to get in the game. Understand what your product is. Move forward. I have said it before that the Indy 500 is an absolutely incredible event. It is world class. It is elite level. Put it alongside the Super Bowl. It's Olympics. It's Wimbledon. Pick a sport, whatever the marquee event is. That's the Indianapolis 500. That's all you got. What are you doing to make the other 16 events anything even close to resembling the excitement and festival atmosphere? I know it's one of a kind. You'll never actually duplicate it. But what are you doing to raise up the other boats in the ocean? Your marketing strategy can't be, we've got the Indy 500. You're right, you do. But if you keep pointing to that, and that's all you keep pushing and promoting, that's going to be all you have. And you know what? You won't have it for very long. So let's see what happens with IndyCar going forward. And the yarn that's being spun about television ratings. Yep, you're on network television, but 770,000 isn't enough eyeballs. NASCAR's B Series is beating you handily, and they're not on network television. NASCAR is in Indianapolis this weekend, funnily enough. IndyCar is at Laguna, F1's at Spa. NASCAR Canada headed to Calabogie. That's where I'll be this weekend. First time ever, first time at this circuit. Anxious to see it, anxious to see how the cars do on this. I think it'll be a great event. By all accounts, there's a lot of excitement and a lot of tickets being sold, so super excited about that and looking forward to it too. Thanks for checking out this week's edition of Speed Chronicles. Don't forget, like and subscribe and follow on the social channels. Enjoy a busy weekend of racing. We'll do it again next week.